Hey guys, it's Ray with 321 Airsoft, and I want to show you guys some guns today that came by the shop. One of them is brand new, the other one has kind of been on the market for a while, but they're the King Arms Kalashnikov SVD/Dragunov, and both of them are sniper rifles, but one is spring-loaded and the other one is a fully automatic AEG. The one I'm holding right now is currently the spring-operated one, and you're going to ask immediately, how much is this like the A&K version? Well, first of all, the build quality is much better than the A&K version. It has some similarities. For instance, the spring inside is an AEG spring, and it is swappable with an AEG spring. So, but the real difference on this one is, I don't know if you guys were able to actually cock a A&K version, but this one, put it in fire, safe fire, pull this thing, it's cocked. This thing is easier than this one is much easier to cock than the A&K version. I remember when we had the A&K version in stock, some of the people would come into the store and actually try and cock the thing, and it was just damn near impossible. And at that price point, you got a lot of little kids that were buying it, and they would, this one, oh, it's got some clean action to it. So with that said, let's go ahead and just take a quick look inside here. Now, you're probably not going to be able to see this from the distance I'm showing you, but I did take some pictures and we'll post them up over my shoulder here, which is kind of our new way of displaying things. But this little door flips off. There's a lever here. And inside is your spring assembly. And with two bolts right here, two screws right here, you can actually pop this thing out and change out the spring. But when this cocks, the whole cylinder set comes back. It's kind of neat to watch. It's like it locks and then goes, and then it releases the piston. But it looks like it's an AEG cylinder, so we haven't gotten too far into it to actually look at the cylinder head and see how much compatibility that is with other AEG parts. But enough about the spring one, since this one's kind of not the hot news. Let's go ahead and talk about the AEG version. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one down and then pop up this one. Now, it looks just like the exact same body that's on the spring version. In fact, it is the same body. The only difference is that it's got a full metal gearbox inside that we haven't seen anything like it, so I can't compare it to version 2 or version 3. It looks proprietary. But the cool part of it is a quick change gearbox, and it also has a pretty beefy front end. So it's unlikely you're going to shatter it off the front end of this box if you upgrade this thing to 500 feet per second for a DMR, which is what this is a good platform for. It comes with a high capacity magazine, which, you know, we're going to work on getting standard mags or high capacity mags. We know standard mags are available for it because, believe it or not, the sniper version works in there, and the sniper version is a standard magazine. So if you want standard mags for the electric version, you buy the standard mag that comes with the spring version. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the features on this. It basically has a safe fire mode on the selector. It does have a dust cover that works. You open it up and the hop-up is just right there. The hop-up looks exactly the same as the one that's in the spring gun, which is kind of cool. To switch it from auto to semi, there's a little switch underneath where your finger is right here. You flip that and that's your semi and full auto selector. To get to the battery on this gun, there's a switch in the front that you flip all the way down, and it moves the handguard mount forward, and this just sort of comes apart. And it'll take a stick type battery, and we've also managed to put in a stick LiPo, so it will accommodate several different batteries. I'm also thinking that this will actually take blade type LiPos or flat LiPos. Split cells, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. Getting this back together isn't hard, but it's kind of tricky. So you just kind of clamshell together, and because it does have these little pins that bring these two pieces together, these two halves, you got to make sure they're lined up, and then you flip this in once that's, see, I didn't do it, and then there lies the problem. If you don't get those pins perfectly lined up, you got one half that's sticking up further than the other, and then it's just not going to fit together. But it shouldn't be this hard, but I'm not exactly an expert on this, so maybe familiarity over time will get you to get this on quicker. That makes sense. Clam it together, then slide it down, and then fold this over. there is a trick. Just takes a little practice, but so far our impressions of this are really good. It's chronoing right about 400 feet per second, and it has no problem. It's a short axis motor. It's got a short shaft, so you can use any short motor to upgrade this. But the one that's currently in here on a standard 8.4 volt battery is having no problem in semi-automatic pulling that spring back. And now the rate of fire is a little low. It's about 10 rounds a second. That's pretty slow, but you know, it's a project gun, and it seems like all the internal parts are compatible with standard AEGs. They're just laid out in different configurations. So nothing tricky about that. And it does have a quick change spring system, which I'll show you in a second. You pop this off just like you do the other one. You flip the switch down, and if you look in the back right here, and we'll put the pictures up in the corner. But there it is. It's a little screw on the back. You pop the spring guide and you slide it back out. It's really easy to get to, and you can change the springs on this thing, upgrade it. I would recommend going to the motor. Getting to the motor is pretty easy. You take off the 2 screws that are in top here, and then this whole handguard comes off, and then the motor is basically underneath. So if you ever had a loose motor wire or something like that, it's easy to access. Now, we haven't actually stripped the gearbox out of here. Eventually we may get to that, but right now, since this gun is new to us, we haven't done a full teardown and tech. We have shot it, and we are pretty impressed. So if you're interested in one of these, they're on the market. We also sell them at 321 Airsoft, although we do have them. Our initial quantity is limited. We do have them. If you're in our area, stop by our shop, check them out, and no, we do not sell the pockholes. We do sell the chest rig, and we do sell the Shimaz, but the pockhole is mine, and I wear it on a daily basis, which is why I get dirty looks at my other job.
People come driving by, look at the windows, they see you. There's a bunch of cameras and...
Here you go, ready?
You are.